Ideal name of creator of the world. This is I make this New Year's 2024 video at 6 o'clock because it is the time that kings everywhere used to make their speech. And I am on this belief that the only king and the only king of believers and Abraham nations is God, and because of that I make this video right now live. And I must say that it is my first live video, and if it is if I do not speak very good and so on, I hope you forgive me. You know, I started to send my new evenings message at the time that here in Denmark, Danish Queen used to make her speech. And I think everywhere else in the world, it is near less or more in the same time that kings try to talk. And, you know, in the past year, there was, here in Denmark, there was many records, you know, record of rain, record of drought, record of, I don't know, 2-3 records. There was weather records for 2023. Oh, and during the Christmas, and now today that it is New Year's Day, or New Year's Eve, it is the weather was rainy, and you know, and there are some places that they have some problem with the flooding and so on. You know, in the I cannot what you call it. My speech is I did not make any note for this speech. You know, one of the things that recently I have mentioned was about Catholics' position for blessing gay marriage, homosexual marriage. I'm against that. You know, it is very dangerous area. You know, and it is not that we can say, oh, no matter, they are good people and they are married. No, dear, this can evolve. Everything can evolve. Whatever is alive can evolve, you know. When I say whatever is alive, it is not only we humans or animals and so on. Whatever ideology, whatever mentality, whatever everything else that is alive, it can evolve, you know, generation after generation, it can evolve. And this blessing, homosexuality and so on, it can evolve, and it can be very dangerous for children, future children. And what you call it, as one Danish, many years ago, a Danish psychologist, or in TV there was a program about that, and she said there is nothing wrong about you know, touching children sexually. They like it and so on. You know, it is the direction that things will go if you, what you call it, or allow that homosexuality to be what you call it, something acceptable. It is, in general, I write in my last words that when you have made the culture that whomever talk, whomever you meet, the first say indirectly or directly, this small talk, what we call it, with a small talk and so on, say, oh, how she fuck or how she fuck, and or if you want him to fuck you, or how you should say. If you make this in the society, in your cultures, and you want to allow this in your churches too, so of course you must allow gays to stand up and say, I fuck him or he fuck me. It is, when everybody should say how he fuck and who he fuck. Oh, I'm sorry that I use these words, but it is the direction that homosexual must say their words. Then you should, and as you say, you bless them, and when you bless them and so on, that evolve. So there are some homosexuals that like younger boys and so on, and some younger boys that like to be homosexual and so on. It's evolved to something very bad. So I say keep to the old religious, what you call it, borders that they have put you. And in general, either you obey me, that I am time true prophet right now and I order you, or whatever your past prophet has said, you, what you call it, you stay on that. You do not change that. You are not a prophet to change that. Either you believe me, you all take order from me, or you take order from Jesus, or I don't know his Bible, or Muhammad and what, or what you call it, or you obey me and take order from me. There is no tree, something in between that you yourself decide to accept homosexuality or what you call it, not accept that, or whatever else. This is about that. And there is another thing about this Ukraine and Russia war, and we have in Gaza, we have between Palestine and what you call it, Israel. Both, there are maybe other reasons behind these wars, but one of the most important things is that these wars are because of kids. Russia, Ukraine is because of what you call it, Prince Charles and other European kings. And Gaza and Israel is because of Ben Salman and Netanyahu. And what these wars are going to say. First, they put the king and so on throne. Then, you may say, okay, we accept that, we accept, now why we should accept that? You think it is a matter of choice. But by these wars, they get you to understand it is not a choice. It is nothing that you should choose. Either you accept that king or you have real trouble. The bomb all over you. It is the way that they are talking to you. And, as I said, I'm against all these kings, regardless what sort they are. The only king is God, and we are somehow the same from, the power is always power. And if you disobey us, the sky fall over you and the ground under you get unsecure to stand. As you, every day, you can now see and hear it in the news. But the difference between God and others is that God is real God, is real King, is your creator. The others are not your creator. And this was Mother of Kings. There is, in case of this, this Israel-Gaza war, there was a Spanish, I think, a mode agency and so on, that for their dress, they have shown that they used the theme from the war, and the model that they have chosen was like a Spanish princess, and the model had coat of her deers in his in her shoulder, and that was the theme of the picture to sell the jacket. And there were many against that, but I agree with that. It is, in this way he said, all these wars is because of kings, and their jacket or coat was one of the symbols of king's dress, And so that I am, it was very good done from that model agency. And another thing that I have said recently is about TV and media, internet, and everything else, social media. Well, all these are Medusa, the Greek figure that had many snakes come from, instead of hair, she had snakes, and she was very beautiful. And when you look at her, you become a stone, And these, all these TVs, medias, social networks, and whatever else, these are the same, These are practice that has become all your lives, And they get you to obey kings and obey whatever else that they want you to obey. They get you to buy whatever they want to sell you. How I can say they are, Greeks of some 1,000 years ago already has got has an idea what such a media or person can do to people. So I call TV channels, internet, and social media and so on. I call them all Medusa. Another thing that I wanted to say, I have about 1 year or more that I have started. I have written some words about churches and synagogues and mosques. I said all these places that you give to God belong to God. And I said, I want these places in their document, at the, what you call it, at the city authorities and so on. When it is written who is the owner, simply it should write God, or whatever is name of God, those people say. The owner is God. Why I want that? Why I want, officially you mention that mosque, that synagogue is property of God. Because it's the first sign that you recognize there is a God, there is someone that people call him God, and he exists, and this mosque, this synagogue is his property. No one can, what you call it, make any changes and use it for any other purpose, because the owner is him. He owns the property. You call yourself Jew, you call yourself Christians, you call yourselves Muslims, but you do not recognize your creator, your God that you, or what you call it, say you believe in, to have his document. In the document over his property is written that it is him that owns this property. So it is very important for me that all the states, all the governments, all countries accept that whatever belongs to God, you should give it to God, as Jesus has said. The mosque, the synagogue, or whatever else is property of God. In your religion, you literally write in the document, it belongs to God. It is what you call it. I wanted on that text, and I put pressure on that. There, another thing that I, in the last year. So there is, in the last year, I was mostly busy with my personal life. I found a guy that, find the cheap places, houses and so on that not so many people wanted to buy, and so it comes down in the price and he said. So I, and because of, there was war between Russia and Ukraine, suddenly, all energy prices has gone up. So I decided to make my house isolation a little more, that it keep the warm. And so I look at the internet and so on, and they said isolation over isolation is not good. So you should open that isolation that it is, and make a stronger isolation. So I started and opened the half of my room, what you call it, with all the gifts and so on, put it down and to isolate. Then I find out that, these, in Danish they call start, the main, what you call it, main foods that every 2 meters there is a one. and it is wooden, and it is until 80 centimeter or 1 meter. It is totally what you call it become to powder, you know. And there is and house does not stand on any what you call it feet. I started and cut it and put new what you call it new things in one, two of them. So I see no, it is what you call it. It will cost a lot of money, and it will cost what you call it a lot of work. So I decided to buy a new one. So I bought this house. It is my last house was in island of Lolland, and this one is total opposite side. It is in northwest, what you call it, Denmark, in island of Jutland. Well, the house is better. The price was double so much that I have sold that house in price of in Lolland. I have sold it in price of the ground. It was 1,000 meter, what you call it, ground. Therefore, I sold it cheap, what you call it, and I paid nearly double so much that I got from there. I paid for this house. It is good, but it is a little too much for me. And there is 3 rooms in first floor that I do not use it. So if anyone want to get to know God's true prophet from near, you are welcome. You can get one of the rooms and live there, you know, and stay 1 week to see what you call it, to get to know. And what you call it, and it is about, and I was so busy, you know, I was mostly busy with this changing the house, come here, you know, and I did not had, you know, very good budget to use and get a commune to take my things from there to come to bring here. So many times I drive to Lolland and back to bring my things. And still this house, it is not put everything in its proper place. And as I said, it is a house that was cheaper in price because there is some problem with that. And that things I must make by time. And it is about my place to live, but it is better people here, what you call it. They are better, however, what I can say in Lolland, they were not bad at the start, but as the time goes, you know, my torturers are always around me, and they, what you call it, make people rude, and my reactions send people more to them. And by time, people become worse and worse. But so far, it is good, you know. And this house is in center of city. Another house was in middle of nowhere, you know. Here, it is, but it is a small city. It is good. So far, it is good. But I do not have any plan to stay here for long. I want to make it. It's a good house for a family, you know. A man, wife, and 2 children. can very good live in this house and what you call it. I rather to move somewhere that be far from neighbors, you know, and these people does not have so many reasons, does not have so many what you call it benefit of torturing me, because in the cities and especially big cities they have lots of benefits. It is full of girls and what you call it full of friends and everything is in big city, but in far from the city, there is nothing to get for them. You know, they can torture, they can disturb me, but they do not get much for it. You know. Well, as it looks, I have talked 25 minutes. I wish you all involved Happy New Year, and I hope every year you get more back to your true God, to your true King, and what you call it, and take distance from all these kings and pharaohs and presidents that are like pharaohs and what you call it, religious leaders that are like pharaohs. Take distance from all of them and get back to God. Happy New Year to everyone.